Welcome to the Indie Author Showcase. I'm Chad Robert Morgan.
Hi, I'm Alexander Robert Morgan.
We've been through this.
Yes,
That's
this
not
is
your
gonna
middle.
be a recording bit. You get used to it at this point.
It's not your middle name.
Get used to it.
It's not your
Get
middle
used to the
name.
recording bit.
It's not your middle name.
You just get used to it. You're trying to argue me, human.
This is Alexander Scott Morgan.
Nah.
Yeah, my unwilling partner in crime who's secretly trying to sabotage the podcast.
I wouldn't say secretly.
No, that much is true.
I've said some horrendous things that you just cut off of. Honestly, I've said some just terrible things.
Yeah, maybe not so secretly trying to sabotage the podcast.
Yeah, no, you can't see because you edited out. I've said some terrible things.
Maybe blatantly trying to
About
sabotage the podcast.
Every race, including my own.
Yeah.
All of them. Just all the races, all the genders, all the sexualities. I've said horrible things about all of them. I'm terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just trying to get us all canceled here.
Then I don't have to do this no more. And that would be awesome. That's like my dream.
Thank you for supporting your father. I appreciate that.
I am a teenage boy. I could be playing video games in my room and being secluded and doing like teenage angst things such as like listening to My Chemical Romance and writing my secret diary you don't know about.
Okay, you don't have a secret diary, and when have you ever listened to My Chemical Romance?
This guy does not have a secret diary he don't know about.
When have you ever listened to My Chemical Romance?
Starting today. I am now #1 My Chemical Romance listener. My favorite song has got to be...
As you start looking them up real quick because you don't know any of them.
No, I love My Chemical Romance. Other emo songs. I'm pretty unknown. I listen to some.
You don't listen to anything but Persona 5 soundtracks.
That's not true, actually. It's just I also listen to 3s and 4s. Lots of
anything from Persona.
I listen
basically
to
video game soundtracks.
Demon. I basically just have the music taste of a neurodivergent person.
You actually have a Persona like TikTok that's actually doing pretty well, don't you? Like a TikTok stream.
We are not promoting this on the podcast.
You don't want to promote this on the podcast?
No.
Well, fine. See if I help you out then.
Boom, now it's copyrighted. You can't use this clip. It's copyrighted. I just doomed you.
You know, I can just edit it out, right? You know. Seriously, you don't want me to fine.
No.
See, I'm trying to help you out here, kid.
Hey, I am my own man.
Fine, I'll just edit it.
Also because I'm bigger.
Well, la-di-da. You're too big for my help. I see how you are. I'm going to put it in anyways. Fuck you. All right. Anywho. So this week we have a book from a personal friend of mine who is also my boss. So talking about playing with fire.
His book is good. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's a good book.
Well, if it wasn't good, we wouldn't put it on the podcast. We do that with everybody's book, right?
Yes.
And, you know, again, full disclosure, the dude's my boss. So
we love it.
So if it wasn't good, we would have just secretly
we love the book.
What's that? It sucked. Oh, what? No podcast? No, we'll get to it. Get to the episode, you know, that kind of thing. But no, but before we get to it, there's one thing I wanted to talk about, and this was something that unfortunately came to a little bit of a shock for Scott.
Gasp.
When he was working on the book, and
hey, if it's about what I think it is, do not announce this.
Oh, come on, we got to talk about this because this is kind of
funny.
This is fun. This is funny.
It's fun. But okay. It's bad. It's bad.
It's bad, but I mean, it's not like anybody but us is going to see this because he can't publish this. So that's sort of the point.
But the fact he tried it is good enough.
Okay, don't play the record.
And okay, so we're gonna twist the story to make it sound a little better. You know what I mean?
Okay, well.
So as a test demo, purposely for only testing reasons.
Well, I think one of the reasons he was doing this, first of all, is Scott does have I forget the exact name of it, but he does have an eye condition. He is um, hard of seeing in one eye. Like if you ever see him working on the computer, he's got a big screen. The text is all blown up, like super large. Um, so I think using this helped him to write the book because he could hear it read back to him. So I think he was using it partly as a writing tool. But he was also thinking that he could use this AI narration to publish it to Audible. And so he was like, "Hey, I know you've done this before already, and how are we doing this and everything like that." And what's really impressive about this is he started writing this about what, 4 or 5 months before Comic-Con.
Yes. Got it done by Comic-Con. Sold books at the Comic-Cons.
So he got this all written.
Did better than we do.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but he got it all written, edited, um, and put to print all within about 6 months, which is, really breakneck speed. On top of this, he was swamped at his day job, plus the other things that goes on in his personal life, which I won't get into in the podcast, but let's just say the dude doesn't exactly have a lot of spare time. Let's just put it that way. So this was an incredible feat, and so I was talking to him. It's like, yeah, I know. So how do you get the book published? How do you get the this published? How do you do the audiobook published and everything like that? And he was saying, well, the audiobook is almost done. And it's like I was like, well, this is impressive. It's like, so the book is done. It's like, well, the book's almost done. It's like, wait a minute, how is the audiobook almost done if the book's not done? And it's like, well, the AI is generating it as I'm writing it. And I said, Audible won't take that.
Also, AI bad.
And, well, we'll get to that. And you could kind of see that kind of pulled the rug out from under him because his plan was to have the digital copy, the print, and the audiobook all done by Comic-Con. And it's still impressive he got the print and the ebook done in time, but that screwed his plans to get the audiobook done because now he's got to find an actual human person to read the book. And I think the book is going to be better for that because I actually listened to the AI narration. He shared me the Dropbox link. I listened to it because it's just more convenient for me to do the audiobooks, because I can listen to it at the gym, I can listen to it while I'm driving, that kind of thing. I don't really have a lot of time to sit and read books. You prefer reading, right? You sit and read, you go through books rather quickly. I prefer the audiobooks. But going through the AI narration was painful.
Yikes! Yeah, I was never part of it. It was AI is bad for multiple reasons.
You are off camera.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting on the camera side. Now, AI is bad for multiple reasons. It's unethical, it's all that good stuff. But more importantly, it just sucks. This was bad. It was a bad listening experience. Don't ever make a audiobook with AI for ethical and practical reasons.
Well, again, if you're doing an audiobook, currently, at least at the time of this recording, and I double checked it when I was talking to Scott, just to make sure the rules hadn't changed.
You can't put up an audiobook if it uses generative AI to do the voiceover, which is good.
That is, as of the time of this recording, that is still the rule.
And it should stay the rule.
You cannot use an artificial person for your narration.
And it should stay the rule.
Based on what I heard, did you lock him in your room?
I don't think I did it on purpose. No, he locked himself from cameras.
Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Snip, snip. So, based on what I heard, this is a good thing.
Very good thing.
Now, on the one hand, it is incredibly impressive how realistic this sounded.
On occasion.
No. This sounded like a real person doing a very bad narration.
Wow.
I mean, you could believe that this was a real person doing a horrible job narrating the book.
Yeah, you could believe that.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't believe it for a second, but I could have. Now, could you go over the infliction of said audio?
So here's where there's two things where it really went wrong. First of all, it did tend to mispronounce words.
Skabooble. Skabooble.
Hold on a second. Denim, settle down. Snip. Settle down, boy. Well, it would mispronounce words like well, like I think it pronounced Gaelic like Gaelic once.
That's Gaelic, call it like Gaelic. Whoa.
No.
We don't discriminate, but it's weird to lick the gays.
Gaelic like in England kind of. Anyway, like Sybil, I kept pronouncing it Sybil, which I think it was supposed to be Sybil.
You wouldn't know because the audiobook said it wrong.
Well, I mean, that's maybe he meant it says Sybil. I don't know, but I didn't actually read the book, so I didn't see the spelling. But there was times when it would mispronounce words. But the biggest offender, and this was where it got funny.
It was kind of funny.
Is he picked a voice for the narration,
and it was very dramatic,
which worked when it was doing a dramatic scene. So it starts off with this very active prologue, right? And these people are, taking out their knives and they're fighting. The dinner is happening, and the house is burning down.
I'm angry.
And the voice worked for that.
Yeah.
Cut to a scene where
did you wake up in time?
Yeah.
You need your breakfast.
Well, that happens. So there's a scene when the main character wakes up and his romantic interest opens up the door. He goes, "You overslept. You missed breakfast." They had pancakes with waffles. It's just it obviously was not supposed to be a dramatic moment. There's times when they're walking and they're joking with each other, but it's still the same dramatic tone. Like, oh my God, was that racist against vampires? And it gets to the point where it was comical because it was so out of place. The AI didn't know to change its inflection. Everything was in a dramatic tone, which again, most of the book is dramatic, so it worked for a lot of the book. But there were times when, so it is a blessing in disguise for our friend Scott that he can't use this as an audiobook. So
for both ethical and practical reasons.
Yes. Well, he is currently looking for a honest God narrator to narrate the book. And you think you can do narration?
I can do narration perfectly.
Are you still in speech therapy?
No.
Really?
No.
Maybe you should.
No, I can narrate perfectly fine.
I don't know. You still quite can't.
Do you not believe in my reading capabilities?
You still you can read. You still can't quite pronounce.
Do you not believe in my acting capabilities?
It's you pronouncing R's. I'm a little hesitant.
But I could voice act perfectly fine. I'm just saying.
Perfectly fine? Yes, you can voice act perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly.
I'm Boston.
Perfectly.
I live in Boston, actually. This is actually filmed in Boston.
Yeah, you might actually be able to pull off a Boston accent, but that's about it. That's good. You need to hit your R's better. That's what I'm saying.
I will read everything perfectly.
Anywho.
Perfectly.
So that was our adventure with the AI, which was, again, a little funny, and it is a blessing in disguise that our friend Scott can't use that audio.
For both practical and ethical purposes,
Yes.
I would like to mention.
His book is going to be all the better when he has a real person narrating the book, because it is a good book, and that AI narration was not doing it
For both
justice.
ethical and practical reasons.
So with that said, should we talk about the book?
Yes, because then we get done faster. All right, let's go. Chop, 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 boy.
Also of note, the cover here was also designed by our friend Chris Williams, who we also work with. And Chris Williams has designed the cover of 2 of my books, The Baby Eater and Volume 1 of Short Bites.
And it's Robert S. Campbell's The Rats Beneath the Walls. A spiritual sequel to H.P. Lovecraft's 1924 short horror story, The Rats in the Walls. A young man living in his own after a lifetime in orphanages finally discovers his true family name, Delapore. From this infamous family tree, he finds a tangled history of intrigue, dark secrets, and unspeakable horrors in the ancient family estate of the Exham Priory.
I can read it perfectly.
Perfectly. Actually, no, I gotta read it like the AI did. You ready? A spiritual sequel to H.P. Lovecraft's 1924 horror story, The Rats in the Walls. A young man living in his own after a lifetime in orphanages finally discovers his true family's name, Delapore. From his infamous family tree, he finds a tangled history of intrigue, dark secrets, and unspeakable horrors in the ancient family estate of the Exham Priory. That you good?
I think you might have
Spit
spiked the audio a couple times.
Oh, other than that, was I pretty good on my voice acting though? Did I sound plenty enraged?
Oh, you sound plenty enraged. You still have to pronounce your R's better, but that's all right.
Scomantics.
So,
I'm hoping you didn't realize I said scomantics wrong again.
So again, we do give an honest review. So what did you think of the book? You haven't read any Lovecraft, have you?
No, you don't let me.
I don't let you.
I tried once like a year ago, and you said no. That has too much sex.
Well, I mean, you're almost 17. I think you're free to read whatever you want.
With that being said, well, what about 50 Shades of Grey?
Why would you want to?
Well, of course,
Lovecraft.
Of course, I'm the president of the 50 Shades of Grey club at school, so I mean.
We have some Lovecraft. The problem with Lovecraft, for me,
is the racism.
Well, there's some racism.
Lots of racism.
Yeah, he can be.
He was very racist. Look up the name of his. I think it's like cat.
Yeah, he gets kind of racist. He also gets by today's standards, he's kind of dry, to me.
He's a lot of things.
Well, keep in mind he was writing a long time ago.
Well, most likely stoned out of his mind. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, it was, good ideas, but they were
from a weed-filled ecstasy joyride.
No, my point is that writing standards are different now. It's kind of like when you read Charles Dickens, and it's like you're kind of slogging through it because writing standards have changed. We tend to be a lot quicker with our sentences. We don't use a lot of extra words in our sentences. We try to get straight to the meat of it.
I mean, you don't. I'm doing a jab at you.
You're saying I ramble.
Yes, I'm saying you ramble, which you do a lot, don't worry.
Well, this is actually what I'm doing with my book right now, is I'm going through the editing phase. And my first pass is I run it through Grammarly.
Ooh.
And, well, I don't just turn on Grammarly and just let it go, because a lot of their suggestions are bullshit.
Hey, don't swear unless I can swear.
You can't swear because you're a child. So I go through the suggestions one at a time, and if I agree with it, I hit accept, and if I don't agree with it, I dismiss it. You're just making it take longer when you mess around.
I just wanted to point out that Grammarly is in fact banned in my English class.
Okay, well, I'm not doing your English class. I'm doing my next book.
I just wanted to point that out.
Anyway, so one of the things that Grammarly is often hitting me on is extra words, right? Did I really need to add all these extra words in this phrase? And I look at it and I go, okay, if I take it out, does it change the tone of what I'm conveying, right? Like if I say, both Selena and Sean turned to face the monster, do I need to say both Selena and Sean, or can I just say Selena and Sean turned to face the monster? Can I?
Both is a pretty important word. You need to clarify.
Well, it depends, because
I'm joking. Please stop.
I'm just saying it's in context.
Anyways, about the book. A little sidetracked.
Just saying, you can read Lovecraft if you want. I just found him a little dry
And racist.
and very racist. Anyway,
all the above.
So, what did you think about the book?
It was wondrous.
Okay, really, what did you think about the book?
It was good.
Okay. So I'll be honest, it started out really good with the prologue, right? And then it like totally dipped, and I started going like, oh Lord, what's going on with this thing, right? And I started getting a little nervous.
Before long, Katie was. Yeah, I gotta read it like the. Before long, Katie was snoring softly in her bed. Just as the blankets over and quietly left the room. Like for 10 chapters, it's just like that.
So, so the chapters are really short. It's like something like what, 40 chapters, 45. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a very big book.
It's only about 300 pages.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent sized book. It's not. I mean it's a good sized book, but it's it's not like The Stand. It's not huge.
Yeah.
But I mean it's a decent sized book. But it's like 40 chapters. Each chapter is pretty short, and so there's like about 10 chapters where I'm like, I'm just. I'm like, oh Lord, please, what's going on with this? It's not even 10 chapters. I think about 5 chapters where I'm really starting to wonder what's going on. But then, so the plot is, as it says in the back of the book, this guy's an orphan, and then he decides to take one of these 23andMe type tests, figures out who his family is. He starts connecting, and he connects with another distant relative, and then they get invited to this big family reunion. He basically cashes out because he ain't got much to start with anyway. Cashes out. The two of them go. It's going to be this big adventure, and that's when things really start. Now, once you get there, then it starts taking off. So there's about 3 or 4 chapters where I'm like, it was a little bit of a weak beginning, but once you get there, it did really start to take off, and he really got me back once we got to the severed penis.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm sitting here reading. He's investigating this like cavern kind of thing where the hooded monks are hanging out at, and he finds a severed penis. I'm like, I'm back. All right,
okay,
we're back. We're good. And I was by that point I'm hooked, and I'm digging it all the way to the end at that point.
That's a little. You're saying a penis?
You had me at severed penis, Scott.
Oh, you're saying a penis reeled you in?
A penis, a severed penis. Not just any penis.
Still
a severed penis.
You're saying that penis reels you in?
Only if it was severed.
It's still you're still being reeled in by penis. I mean, yeah,
a detachable penis.
I'm not one to judge here, but
detachable penis.
Not too long ago. That's just a.
I'm just going to edit all this shit out. There. Right?
Oh, I'm calling you gay.
And I'm going to edit all the shit out. There you go. So
that's like the coward's way out.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway,
you don't want to be a coward, do you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry,
Anyway.
I gotta speak like the German AI. You don't want to be a coward, do you?
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway.
How dare you?
So, anyway. So, yeah, my only real issue with the book was there, after the prologue, which again, the prologue was really was strong and really kicked off the book really well. But then there's just a few chapters where it
careens, it dips, falls.
and it just those few first chapters were a little weak. Once he gets going, it is good. It is really good. But he does it is a bit of a slow start. That's the only complaint in the book. But like I said, once he gets going, it gets going and it gets going good. So, the only other thing that I heard was especially in the beginning was it seemed like there wasn't an adverb he didn't like.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about adverbs. That's sort of a pet peeve of mine.
Oh, you went on it before. Please don't do it again.
I have gone on a
We had a whole episode about it. It's like
I did go on. Yes, rewind, go find it. I won't go on it again, but yeah, there's a whole thing about adverbs I went on. But yeah, well, I mean, I've seen professional writers like do that. Basically anything that ends in ly, I try to cut it out of my work. Adverbs are the word or the tools of the devil, that kind of just skip.
Anyways, book time.
That was the book.
Back to the book.
We just did.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So yeah, so the book, The Rats Beneath the Walls, by our friend Robert S. Campbell, or as we know him around the office, Scott. And check it out today.
It's a good book. Buy it.
So, as we wrap up,
where can they find us?
Where can they find
us?
Go
buy our stuff at shopspectreinc.com.
Shopspectreinc.com.
Yep. Podcom.
Podcom?
Podcom.
.com?
I was gonna say something. I'm like, nope, not saying. Come pot.
And if they want to support the show, they can go to shopspectralinc.com. They can buy any of our merch. They can buy merch for
the metal dildos.
There's no metal dildos.
I did it. You gotta check.
There are no metal dildos, but there are t-shirts, tote bags, coffee mugs, not only for our books, but also for the Indie Author Showcase. There is now Indie Author Showcase merch. You can also support us for the Patreon. That should be patreon.podbean.com/Indie Author Showcase. Podbean, the Patreon will help us get a professional studio, one that is
the dog is currently biting me for the past minute.
A dog-free studio.
He's just the hand nibbler at this point, dude. He's getting like nip nip nip. Ow.
And we are coming up on our next conventions. They're only a few weeks away.
When?
Well, the weekend of the 14th and the 15th. Tell me when. I'm telling you when. Weekend of the 14th and the 15th is HorrorCon.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
HorrorCon in the Los Angeles Convention Center, 14th and the 15th. That's coming up. The weekend, 20, 21st, and 22nd, we will be in the Ontario Convention Center for Creep IE.
Tell me why.
Because it's a big convention and we'll be there. And in fact, if you use promo code Spectral, you can get 20% off your 1-day and 3-day passes.
Give us money by saving your money.
You actually don't give us money, but if there's actually something that they did, it was pretty brilliant. They have a contest amongst the vendors. Each vendor has a promo code. Ours is, of course, Spectral for Spectral Inc. Productions. And the one that has the most promo codes cashed in gets a free booth for the next event. And currently, we are in a tight third place. We were number 1. Right now, we are third place at 11, and 2 people are tied for first place at 12. So 1 more, and it's a 3-way tie, and 2 more.
What if you just use our own code?
Like buy a ticket?
Yeah.
I mean, we could. That would tie it up.
Bigot.
I don't know. But then somebody else going to buy it. I mean, how many times can I pull that trick? I mean, it's $1,000 for a booth. It might be worth it in the long run. Anyhow. But after that, see, there'll be about a couple weeks, and then we'll have Son of Monsterpalooza in the Marriott and Burbank Convention Center.
Wow. We good now?
Don't you like spending time with your
No!
I'm hurt.
Okay! I just want to get this dog off me, man. He's the nibbler.
This is why we have a Patreon, so you can help us get a professional dog-free studio. Was it Matchable Penis? Maybe it was the one in the book.
Okay, with that, we're gonna say toodaloo so I can get this dog off me. Toodaloo, 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 goodbye. Ah!